Welcome back to Village TV. Now it's the end of the year and you're probably winding down. Or maybe you're squeezing in some strategy meetings, Christmas catch-ups, and theoretically winding down towards Christmas. However, my guest today might be telling you something different. Liz Newman from Acumen Human Capital is suggesting that you should maybe be priming your team for the new year, ensuring and setting up your team for a powerful start. Liz, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sean. I'm
So
glad
Liz,
to be here.
yeah, absolutely. I'm really interested in this. I mean, everyone goes in that Christmas mindset. It's like downward, downward, down, and you're trying to get those strategy things happening. But you're talking about setting up a powerful start for 2015.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that all about?
So, first, Sean, I'm not suggesting that we don't enjoy the lead up to the festive season. I'm the first one to go for it.
Okay.
But alongside that, and as importantly, if not more importantly, is taking that opportunity to put in a few steps that are really going to set up your team to launch into 2015 or the new year in a way that is going to really give them focus, direction, positivity, and set them off with enthusiasm.
Nice.
So it's the perfect time at the end of the year to put in some reflection as to what has worked, to have a think about those big hairy goals that you've got for the coming year.
Nice.
And then to think about how you're going to keep that momentum, because it's all right doing all the first pieces, but the momentum is as critical, obviously, as having the right goals in the beginning.
Initially, you spoke there about steps.
Yeah.
What steps do you suggest that you need to put in place to ensure that your team's got that powerful edge?
Yeah. So first of all, in that reflection step is the opportunity to have a think about what is working for your team and what isn't. Just stop a few minutes and have a think about the environment that you've built and that the team are contributing to.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of culture have you got there? Do you know which of your team might be thinking about perhaps taking new year, new career steps? All those little things. If you've got your finger on the pulse, hopefully there'll be no surprises.
Yeah.
But you never know. And that reflection time is key. And I just think that with all our natural inclinations to set up New Year's with our own personal goals, quite often that's the time that we set our New Year's resolutions, etc. If we can do that in the business sense as well, it's sort of runs in synergy. So the first step is that reflection, working out.
Let's talk about that. Reflection. That's. Yeah. Is that a little bit of yoga on the sideline? I mean, come on. What do managers actually need to do? Because we talk about this word reflection. Everyone goes, we reflect on the year, but a lot of us just talk.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk without being informed.
I feel that way.
Yeah. So that's where asking some critical questions, and there don't need to be 25, half a dozen critical questions that we're covering off with our staff, just to get some sense of how they're feeling about where they are in the culture of the business, in their role, in the community that you've got going within your company.
Yeah.
So
because the environment is quite important.
Hugely.
I mean, it's right that you have that awesome environment. A team's not going to be powerful unless they feel like they're part of this cool environment.
It's being part of something. It's being able to contribute meaningfully into, if they're going to invest their energy, their time, their passion, it's got to be something that's synergistic with them and fits with them. So knowing what is working in your environment and what isn't is really helpful. So, as I say, asking just a few questions, and I've got some really special questions that if anybody's interested, they can come to me and I'll happily provide. Yeah. And observing and listening for the responses to that, and then you can put some strategies into place for the coming new year that are going to address some of those things. Now, one of the things that is really important to understand is that people leave for different reasons.
Good and bad reasons.
Good and bad reasons. But often the reason isn't what most employers think, which is it's about money. It's not about money. Money is the last thing on the list.
Really?
When it comes to people leaving. Really.
So why do people leave then?
Yeah. Well, number one on the list
is
because they don't feel valued or appreciated. They're putting in all this effort, what they're doing is what they think is a great job. They're not getting that feedback, that acknowledgement, that recognition. Okay. That's an important thing. And you might be great at that, Sean, with your employees, but it's a point to consider.
Totally.
Another key one is career prospects. if you're not close to and understanding where your employee is in their career path and what their aspirations might be and how your business might be able to feed those aspirations, then there's another, potential door opening for someone to be getting a little bit unhappy or looking for something else without you being aware. Being aware, you can work with it. But
I guess that's where if you're asking the good questions and reflecting the right ways, you would better understand the staff and their positions they're in.
Hopefully, that would be the absolute case, yeah. Leadership is another point that people leave a business for. If there is non-clarity, if they don't feel positively led, and if there isn't that clarity of direction so that they know where to invest their energy and how and what it's going to look like, it can have a huge impact. The quality of leaders in business today is one of the top 3 reasons that people are going to be looking for something else.
Nice.
The fourth one that I would put into the sort of hot list is the way they're managed. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong, leadership and management, 2 very different things.
Okay.
So here I'm talking about sometimes people are just over-managed, and we know that as micromanagement.
Yes.
The other side of that is courses where they're thrown in at the deep end and left to swim or sink. So there are different styles.
Certain personalities like that, and some just don't deal with it at all.
That's right, and depending on the role, the development level of an individual, where they are in their career and their sophistication, maturity, all those sorts of things, they're going to need different styles of management. And so understanding what level your employee's at, and then matching the right style of management to that, can get a very different outcome than just shooting from the hip and thinking you're doing a great job because you talk a lot.
Or doing a blanket.
Doing a blanket. Don't do a blanket.
Do you see that? Oh. You get a lot of that in the industry?
Yeah, and I hear so many times, managers saying, but I'm a really good manager. I communicate all the time. Are you communicating the right things?
Yeah.
That would be a question.
That's a good thing. Let's quickly move on. And I'd love to talk to you about motivation. Because how do you get your staff excited about 2015? Because the managers, you've got goals, you've got objectives, you've got desire, but how do you communicate? How do you get your staff going in the same direction as you?
So that is the really important part of this topic for today is exactly that. Okay. It's getting them kick-started, and we can best do that, in my opinion, through having that big, hairy, audacious goal for the business.
Yes.
That we are enthused as managers or leaders, that we're enthusiastic about and excited about. Yes. And being able to communicate that to our people. Nice. And invite them in for that journey. But then also, it's that time, as I said to begin with, of goal setting for ourselves and setting some expectations for ourselves at the beginning of the year. Yeah. So the power for me is in helping and beginning that process with our people to invite them in to set their goals that align to the meeting of the business goals. They're going to have some personal goals, obviously. Yes. But
they need some personal goals.
Totally, very important. But if they've got their business, their career goals set with an aligned expectation with what we're trying to achieve as well, everybody can get excited and enthusiastic about the same thing. Yeah. So it isn't about the way you communicate it. It is about the way, or the quality of the goal as well. Yeah. But the communication is a really important aspect of that. So it's about having that audacious goal. It's about actually having clarity about how somebody might contribute to that and what their goals might be that dovetail into that. And it's also about having milestones along the way, that people will know when they're hitting those goals, and you can set.
I always laugh because people start the year with these big audacious goals and they're pumped up and they go out there and they're doing it for the team, and then you get to kind of April, May, and it's June, and it's fizzling, right? It's like that same passion is not there, and some team leaders seem to do it really well, some don't. Yeah. How do you keep that energy moving forward? Yeah.
Well, number one, it's not about spin. It has to be genuine. Okay. And this is where somebody being their authentic selves as a leader and manager is really important and critical. People see through spin like that. It's not exciting.
It wears out very quickly as
It
well.
wears very thin very quickly, and it's hard to maintain. So if you've got the right goal, which is simple to explain and which is great and exciting, number one, but then being authentically involved with that and genuinely interested in the people that you're leading and bringing with you on that is a very important aspect of that, keeping the momentum going. That touch point, staying in touch with your employees, having those one-on-ones on a regular period, whether that's every week, fortnight, every month would be the longest period I would recommend in between one-on-ones. But staying in touch, knowing what those goals are, bringing those goals forward, discussing progress, celebrating the wins.
Yes.
I
like that.
Yeah, it keeps it in the consciousness of the manager and also the employee.
Nice.
So it keeps you aligned, it keeps things moving forward, it keeps that bigger goal on the horizon very much in view, and it keeps you aligned with what the employee's goals are. It keeps them on track with where you're trying to go. Then awesome. You can celebrate all those successes on the way.
It makes it more powerful for sure.
Definitely does.
And we've touched a little bit also about personalities and things like that. I know you work a lot with Colby and things like that, and we do have some videos on Village TV about Colby. I suggest you go have a look at those as well. If you're looking to have a powerful start to the year and you're busy working your business and trying to find that edge for next year, I suggest you get in contact with Acumen Human Capital, with Liz, and work out how you can put those steps into your business, because asking the right questions for creating the right environment, putting the right goals into place, and setting up the right levels of communication are so important. If you're going to have that great year next year, or it's just going to be another one of those years that comes and goes. So
boring.
Boring, right?
Don't do one of those.
Don't do the same as what you did last year. If you want to have a big year and have a big change, you're going to have to change the way you look at the year and the way you strategize and implement new procedures into place. And I've loved the work that Acumen Human Capital does in terms of revolutionizing the way businesses look at the way they plan, and you best utilize their assets in their business, which are your people.
Human capital.
Human capital, exactly. So if you want to get in contact with Liz, you can contact her at 0402 275113.
That'll be me.
That'll be Liz right here. Or Liz at acumenhumancapital.com.au. What I love about Liz is she's always open to having a conversation and give you some very honest feedback and ways for you to move forward. So that's Acumen Human Capital. Chat to Liz. Great tips and opportunities to drive your business forward. And let's be honest, Liz, you don't have to do it at the end of every year.
No.
You can do it at any time.
Absolutely. And hopefully that momentum piece will ring true.
Fantastic. Make sure you subscribe to Village TV. Connect with Liz Newman from Acumen Human Capital. And we look forward to seeing you very soon back here at Village TV.
Have a great 2015.
Yes.